Peace and blessings, everybody, and welcome to a very, very special Conversations with Asia. I am your host, Asia Nasir Shahid, and I am so stoked today because today we are hosting a very special episode. It is a virtual book launch for someone extremely near and dear to my heart, and that is for my daughter, Jasmine Ballew, who has written her very first self-published book. And today is the virtual book launch, and the book is called Limbo.
Thank you. I'm looking over here too because I'm also streaming on my Instagram on live. So yeah, I'm just gonna flip it over so everybody can see what that setup is. But yeah, so yeah, if you're asking questions, I'm gonna be looking at you, but I just wanted to let you know if I look over at any point, you know.
No problem, no problem.
Well, if anybody has questions too on live, you guys are free to comment as well.
Okay. Well, you wanna do the show, baby?
No.
Okay. Well, let me introduce everybody to you in case they don't know you. A lot of people know me. They know, I talk about you all the time. And your auntie's on here. Auntie Rachel is saying, you can see the comments on there. So I just want to introduce everyone in case they don't know who you are. I know they see pictures of you. They see me talk about you. They know how proud I am of you. But this may be the first time that a lot of people are actually meeting you on this very special occasion. Mm-hmm. And so I just want to introduce Jasmine Ballew is a 24-year-old now author, screenwriter, and film director. She has interned for several organizations and companies, film companies, one being Young Boss Media in New York. She did her own show. She actually hosted a season called Bayou's Corner, and it was on mental health and, bringing awareness to that topic. She directed, produced that show on her own. She's interned for companies in California. She is currently an intern for a current company right now that I'll let her talk about. And she's written a lot of reviews and editorials for, film and giving her perspective on that. So Jasmine is, although young, she's gotten around as far as getting the word out and building her portfolio. And this book launch, this self-published book is not to disappoint. It's just something else that she's adding to her portfolio. And guess who's on? Who just wrote a comment on there?
My dad.
Yeah, it's that congratulations, my little princess. So you got Auntie Rachel on here, you got your dad on here, and there's a lot of viewers that are watching as well. So let's get right into this book launch. Let's get right into, talking about this journey that you've taken in doing that. So let's just get right. Show the book again to everyone who hasn't seen it.
So here we go. This is the cover. It was modeled, like it was my whole idea and everything like that. So this is the back. And I'm gonna let you guys try and read it a little bit. I'm gonna read it to you guys anyway, though. The top.
Let me get right into it then. No, it's okay, Jasmine. See, me and my daughter, we do this all the time. See, I'm a leader, she's a leader. You can see us having this power struggle right now, but it's all good. So I want to ask you first, you created this book called Limbo. Kind of let everyone know what is actually the book about. What is the book Limbo and what's the concept behind it?
So Limbo is basically 7 short stories. All of them they're not all like connected in any way. All of the characters don't know each other in any type of way, but they all have one connecting factor, which is the fact that they're in limbo. They're all deciding a very hard decision, and the decisions that they have will basically change their lives, basically. But yeah, that's pretty much it, really. But they're all really, really like kind of like thriller type of stories, or just kind of stories that at the end of the day is going to kind of leave you with a plot twist.
Wow. So each of them have a plot twist.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And how many chapters are in the book again?
There's 7. So like when I say plot twist, like I'm kind of thinking like when people used to watch like Twilight Zone, like Black Mirror, 2-sentence short stories, like where you kind of start out the story and then like by the ending you're like, I don't know what the heck is going on. So
this is going to leave people kind of like with a cliffhanger at the end of each short story.
Pretty much.
Wow. So I want to ask you, when did you actually start writing your short stories that are now in the book? When did you actually start this journey?
So I've been writing short stories since I can remember, like 4. But these particular stories have been like constructed over years, actually, like the 7 short stories. I think one of them might have even be like 5 years old. And then I was just kind of going back and then redoing them and then like remastering them for now with my new grammar, my new ideas and stuff like that. But a lot of them have just been done over the years, and I just decided to kind of put them all together for one book almost.
So it's a compilation. So when you say limbo and you use the term limbo, what was, you know, being that they're short stories and they leave a cliffhanger, it's kind of like a thriller type thing. What created the actual cover to be called Limbo? What was that about?
So I was kind of just, I could not figure out a name for the life of me. And I was trying to find something that was connecting all of these stories together because I really liked each story, but I just didn't know how to put them all together to connect. So at first, you already know, I went through a whole concept where I was going to name it like 777 because I was like, you know what? It's like 7 short stories and they're all like sinful. So it's like the 7, you know, deadly sins. I didn't really like that, but I actually kind of branched off of that and was like, okay, let me try to think of other things like dealing with that. So I think at one point I was thinking of something dealing with Dante's Inferno. It's basically like the place purgatory, which is basically what limbo is, like the place between heaven and hell. And from there, I basically came up with the word limbo. And then I was like, you know, that has 2 meanings. So I might as well name it that because all the characters are in limbo. And it just kind of all went together.
So you just mentioned something. You said that limbo has like 2 meanings. So what are the 2 meanings of limbo?
So I'm actually just going to read it right from the back because I just want to be accurate. Okay. So it's a Roman Catholic theology. It's a region on the border of heaven or hell, serving as the abode after death of unbaptized infants. And then also it's a state of uncertainty. So a state of uncertainty and then basically purgatory between heaven and hell.
So let me understand this correctly. So all the characters in the book, the main character in each story is basically in limbo and they're making decisions that could possibly have them end up in heaven.
Because that's the thing with the characters too. I wanted to show that although people can do bad things, have bad decisions, not everybody is a bad person. So a lot of them, I feel like although they're good people, they made really bad decisions. So that's why I feel like they would probably land in limbo because the decisions that they're making are just really, really bad sometimes.
Right. So the cover of it, just show the cover one more time and put it like as close as you can to the camera. So you can see it's a young man. He's actually holding a gun. And so what was the concept behind him actually holding the gun? What's happening in that where it complements people being in limbo?
So this is actually taken from one of my favorite stories in the book. It's actually the second story. This Could Be Us. This is the main character, Rudolph. And in the story, he's at the beginning, you're seeing he's basically having to decide, make a decision. And by the ending of the story, you decide what that decision is, or you see what that decision is. But he's very much in limbo in his story, basically. And I felt like just this cover alone was very strong. Like you just look at this and you're already seeing that obviously this person is having to make a decision to basically take somebody's life or not take somebody's life. So, you know what I mean? That in and of itself looks like somebody's in limbo.
Wow. Powerful. Powerful. So I mean, obviously I'm your mom. I've known you since birth and before birth. And I remember I want to share with the viewers because we have a few here that they've left a few comments. So I'm going to read some of the comments after I tell this short story. But I remember you were, and I don't know if you remember, what was the name of your 3rd grade teacher?
Mr. McCorkle.
Mr. McCorkle, yes. I remember him. And I remember, do you remember an assignment that he gave you? It was a writing assignment.
Yeah, he made us write a short story as if we were pencils. And it was basically like supposed to be like us, our perspective as pencils. You know, That's pretty much it.
So I remember after you wrote this, I didn't even know you had this assignment. And I remember after you wrote the assignment, he sent me an email and he was like, I really need to speak to you about Jasmine. And it's regarding a recent assignment that I gave her. And I thought like, oh, okay, you know, like what's going on? Is she, you know, did she not do the assignment right? Or, you know, is there some type of learning issue happening? So I got kind of nervous. So I called him right away. And I was like, you know, what's going on with this assignment? And he was like, I don't know if you already know. He said, but I've been teaching for quite some time. He says, I know talent when I see it. And he was like, this young lady wrote a story about a pencil. And he said the way she wrote the story, you would think that she went to school to learn how to write. And I remember he sent me a copy of it. And I was just like, oh my God. Like, even when I read it to this day, I don't look at pencils or sharpeners the same anymore because of what you wrote. And you were so descriptive in the way that you wrote it. And I couldn't believe at the age of 8, because he was your 3rd grade teacher, at the age of 8, that you were already writing like this, but you were an avid reader as well. So throughout the years, you know, tell the viewers, what was your journey in writing? Because you continued to write, especially after I then became aware of the fact that you had this gift. What was your journey into building to the point where now you're an author?
So it's kind of long, but so first off, I just started with reading. I didn't really start writing initially. I was just really, really into reading. Like from, I believe when I was in the 3rd grade, I had an 8th grade reading level. And then when I was in like high school, I had a college reading level, because they used to make us like test our reading scores periodically. So I always had a very high reading level because I was always reading. And then from that, I believe I just loved reading so much that I was like, you know what, I'm going to try and make my own stories or whatever, because it made me have so much creativity reading so many stories all the time. It just kind of made me want to make my own stories. So back in the day when grandma used to be babysitting us, I used to like those like sheets of paper, the lined sheets of paper. I used to like write a whole like short story on one side, and then I would like flip it over and write another short story on the other side. And then times I used to cut out magazine pictures and like post them inside little things and make stories off of the magazine postings and stuff like that. Yeah, so it like goes back pretty far. Then I became a little bit more serious with it when I was in high school, like my freshman year, maybe 8th grade, 7th grade also. I was doing Wattpad and like Tumblr. And I used to do like, I don't know if you know the term, but fanfics. It's basically
you know, mom don't know these terms.
It's super embarrassing, but it's something that a lot of like teen girls do, and they like a guy like that's a teen pop star or like a celebrity. I was personally a big fan of mindless behavior, so I used to write like mindless behavior like love stories.
I remember that.
Like a lot of people liked them and stuff like that, and I ended up getting like a really big following on Wattpad, and like that was a huge motivation for me, because before I was just kind of writing just for fun. But then when I saw that people were actually really perspective to it, or like respecting it and really wanted it, and like it blew my mind. I didn't know that people like thought that I had such a good voice. I mean, obviously you're talking about Mr. McCorkle, but I'm like, you know, that's your teacher. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what does he know? But like when I got older and I was seeing, you know, what people's reactions was to it, I really liked it. I took another break after that. I started blogging a little bit. And then after that, I just decided to write a book because I saw that you wrote a book, and it kind of inspired me to want to do the same thing. So.
Aw, yeah. And I remember even in school, I think it was middle school, right, Jasmine? You started writing for the school paper.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. You wrote for the school paper. And then you created a blog. And what was the name of the blog?
Oh, I don't even remember, to be honest, at this point. I really don't. I know it was Dandelion, something with dandelions, though.
How many followings did you end up getting, you know, from that blog and just writing little short stories here and there? From
Wattpad, I had like as far as views, I had probably over like 26,000. And as far as like followers, I had like,
wow,
maybe like 10,000.
Wow.
And like multiple stories too. Like I was like in the like high thousands, multiple number thousands. And wow. I was just as surprised as you was. Like I said, like when I was getting those reactions, I was blown away.
Wow, amazing. So I can see why that would motivate you. Mm-hmm. So how did that translate into, I mean, you became a film director, you started, you know, screenwriting. Mm-hmm. Before we get into that, let me read some of the comments, because there's a lot of comments on here, mm-hmm. on Facebook and everything. So I'm just going to read them. I posted them up, mm-hmm. but I'm just going to read them. So your auntie Rachel said, hey, Jazzy. Yeah. My friend Baina is on here. She said, congratulations. Melody said, congratulations. Your daddy from California and mm-hmm. Auntie Rachel from California. He said, congratulations, my little princess. Mm-hmm. Anissa, mm-hmm. you've met Anissa. She said, congratulations. Mm-hmm. Mariam Sullivan says she looks just like you.
Thank you, guys.
And then another viewer named Elba said, congrats.
Thank you.
And she said she can't wait to receive her copy.
I can't wait to get it to you.
Yes. And then she wrote, what a beautiful team of mom and daughter. Jasmine, you are a great speaker. Much success to you. Yes. I keep telling everybody I got a blessed womb, y'all.
Thank you so much. That's so sweet.
Yes. So I have to tell everybody, as I was preparing for today, this morning, anyone who knows me knows I have what's called a nervous stomach. So anytime there's a big event, right? You know, Jasmine. Right. So anytime I have a big event, or I'm doing an event for Jessica Cares, or speaking, or anything like that, my stomach is like all over the place. You would have thought, viewers, you would have thought that it was my book that was being launched today and being released today, because my stomach was all over the place. I'm looking in my closet like, what am I? I'm so proud of you, Jasmine. You know, this was a long time coming. This was a long time coming, and I remember you mentioned to me that you wanted to write this book about a couple of years ago, and you attended my author's masterclass, and you made some tweaks after that, and finally launched your book. And another viewer said, congratulations. I'd love to read the pencil book also.
Okay. Hopefully you still have it somewhere.
Yeah, I got to look through my papers, you know. But yeah. So the question that I have for you is, in your writing and you getting this following and things like that, you kind of morphed into, you know, film directing and screenwriting, actually writing screenplays where you were thinking of even, you know, putting them in competitions and things like that. How did that transition happen?
So it actually kind of happened kind of slowly. In high school, I did that one high school technical videography. I sound stupid. But yeah, it was like a class, a technical class for that in high school. And at that time, I was mostly just in it because that was the closest thing to writing that they had, to be honest. So I was like, all right, you know, I'll just take this. But then when I was kind of in it, I was seeing how you can like write things and have it come to life. And I was like, all right, this is a little bit cool. Even then, I was still not really into it. Afterwards, I saw Do the Right Thing for the first time. And that was the first time I had ever seen like a movie that was really just different. Like it literally felt like Spike Lee took us out of like whatever world we were in and just like put us into his world. Like everything from like the colors to like the characters, the music, everything was just like him, just like so original. So it was like when I saw something like that and I was like, wow, like this is like writing stories to a whole nother level where it's like visuals and like you can really get yourself into the story. I was like, all right, yeah, I think this is something that I might want to look into. And from there, I pretty much started writing screenplays and stuff.
So what are your favorite movies, since you're talking about bringing stories to life? What are some of your favorite stories growing up that you saw that really inspired you to be the screenwriter and aspiring film director? Well, actually, you've already done some film directing, but, you know, aspiring to be on that level. Who are some of those film directors, and what are the movies that were your favorite?
So first, obviously, Do the Right Thing, because like I said, that movie like changed my life. But I'm a huge fan of Spike Lee, so another one would be Mo Better Blues. And I just really admire him because he not only like directs his stuff, but he like writes it and produces it. So like that full control over your project and your vision is something that I really aspire to do. So that was a huge motivating factor.
Was that why you self-published?
Yeah.
Because you wanted full control?
Mm-hmm. And that was something that I was always worried about when I was younger about publishing, if like people would try to make me change my stuff. So the fact that this came along and I could do it without anyone changing my stuff, I was like, you know. I'm trying to think of other movies. Slumdog Millionaire. I don't know if you've ever watched that movie. It's really, really good, but it's a very like elaborate story. Like you kind of have to watch it from the beginning to the end. I love stories like that, or like movies like that, where it's like it's telling like a genuine story and it's just beautiful from beginning to end and everything kind of connects in a certain way. That's one of my favorite movies. What else? I feel like a lot of go ahead.
There is one movie that I cannot watch with you.
Oh, American History X. I love that movie. Yes. That's another one that the writing, it just was like, you know, you see somebody who's, somebody else said they like it. Movie, and it's like, you know, it's about a racist, literally a Nazi, and you're like, oh my gosh, like I can never relate to this person. This person's disgusting. And you're watching the movie, and like you can see from the perspective, although you don't agree with what they're saying, you can see why he might be angry, or why those characters or why those Nazis in that movie might be angry or whatever. So you're almost not empathetic, but you're understanding of like why they're doing the things that they're doing. And then from going from that to breaking down the racism to like now him not being a racist at all, like you're literally seeing every step of the way from him being a racist, how he became that way, to unlearning that way, to trying to teach other people to learn a different way. Like it was once again, a very elaborate story from beginning to end that kind of connected all the way through. And the visuals in that movie is amazing. The music, I love that movie.
Yeah, I can't watch that movie with you. And you know why, right?
Yeah, it's very graphic. And that's another thing.
No, that's not the reason.
Why?
I can see graphic movies. What do I always tell you, Jasmine? Watching a movie with just your friends, your girlfriends, mom, daughter, Netflix night is one thing. When you're watching a movie with someone who's like you, screenwriter, director, what's the difference in watching a movie with you?
We're gonna like tear the whole movie apart, basically. Like literally everyone in my life basically at this point is telling me that like, oh, every time I watch a movie I see it completely different, or like they're like, oh, do you think that they did this scene because of this, or what do you think that scene, like literally like Kareem, this whole like for this past like year, every time we watch a movie he's just like, what do you think that means? Do you think that this means this? Like literally all he thinks now when we're watching movies is just like film.
Yes. So and I know watching movies with you, you talk about the lighting. Oh, mom, did you hear that music? That music came in perfect, or it should have came in at this. And I'm sitting here like, I'm just trying to enjoy the movie. Like all of the stuff you're talking about, I could care less. I'm just trying to enjoy the movie. But you have a very different perspective as it relates to storytelling and how that story is going to be perceived by the viewers.
Right.
So I would love to just kind of open it up to the audience. We have viewers on here who've been commenting and everything else. If you have a question now that you would like to ask Jasmine, please ask that. I'll post it up so that way everybody can see it and allow Jasmine to be able to answer any questions that you may have. Because there's a few viewers on here, which I'm so happy about. And thank you, viewers. Thank you, supporters, for supporting my daughter, Jasmine. This is her release. This is her premiere. So I'm just thankful to all of you who are showing, support. And I want to ask a question. You chose, of all days, Juneteenth. So it's launching today. Was that a symbolic reason, or how did that come about?
It was actually accidental. Like, remember when we were coming up with the date, I was on the phone with you and we were like, okay, we need to pick a Saturday. And we were like going through the dates on Saturdays. And you were like, okay, what about June? And it was like last Saturday's date. And I was like, no, I think that's too soon. And then you said, all right, what about June 19th? And I was like, oh yeah, that's perfect. Cause it was like literally right in the middle of the month. I did not even realize it was Juneteenth till like June came, and I was like, oh, okay. So, but I feel like maybe everything happens for a reason, because
of course,
I mean, that's so symbolic. I mean, Black people weren't even allowed to read or write back in the day. And the fact that I was able to, write a whole book, and that writing and reading has been such an influence on my life. I couldn't even imagine my life without reading or writing. You know what I mean? So, and I feel like for me, and I'm not trying to say this in a way to like brag or anything, when it comes to writing stories, although it's time consuming, it's something that comes kind of easy to me as far as the ideas. Like I'm almost always coming up with new ideas when I'm done with the story. It's like, all right, I have a new idea like right after that, basically. And I feel like, and I feel very much blessed from God that's from God, that's a gift from God. But I feel like it's pent up like stories from like the people from almost my ancestors, like the stories that they weren't able to tell, or like weren't able to, you know what I mean, articulate. It feels like I have so many stories inside of me. I just like need to try to get them out. But like, I don't think that that's coming from me. Like I said, I feel like that's coming from like a higher power, but you know what I mean? I just feel like because it's just so overflowing, I'm like, it has to be like, something else.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's powerful. The analogy that you just gave, that there was a time when we couldn't read or even write, you know what I mean? And now here it is, you're, 24 years old, young lady, been writing since you were in grade school, and you have this overflowing need to continue to write and come up with stories. How do you come up with stories? Like, do they just come in your head, like you said, and you just write what's in the moment? Or are you one of those people that have to sit and think and then it comes to you? Or does it just come to you?
So, my stories for the most part are kind of inspired by just little things, like the littlest, smallest thing. Like I'll for example, I'm just gonna tell you a story, like a backstory to one of the books. So the last chapter is called Pen Pal. The whole inspiration for that book was I was watching a documentary about Richard Ramirez, the nighttime stalker for the around in LA. And there was a scene, really quick scene, where they were talking about the women that were infatuated with him, that when he was in jail, the ones that used to write him letters and stuff like that. And they showed like a bunch of clips of them. And there was one girl, like all of them kind of looked the same, you know, like almost like a gothic kind of look. But one girl specifically, she looked like she was straight out of high school, maybe like still in high school, like 16, really like pretty. You could see she was like from like an upscale community, like really dressed really nicely, like Asian descent, like really young. And I just remember looking at it and I was just like, what is this girl doing here? Like, how did this girl get here that she's over here writing this serial killer and like visiting him at court? And like, to me, just like, I need to know this girl's story. So I just sat down and I wrote it. I just inspired the story. I was like, I'm just gonna take that little snippet and then like make that into a whole story about a girl that looked like that was after a guy exactly like that. And like, I wrote the story about what I felt like would happen between them, basically. And that was pretty much it.
Wow. So you'll take something, and even if you don't know the backstory, you create the story.
Yeah. Or like it'll just kind of inspire it and I'll make it my own story, basically. Like I was like, all right, that was like a girl that looked like she was in high school writing the serial killer. Like, let's make a story about that. I would love to know why somebody would do something like that. So I'll try to make the motives behind why I think somebody would do something like that, you know?
Wow. So kind of give everyone, the viewers, give them, you know, read the table of contents, what the titles of the books are, because you've been promoting that throughout the past few weeks. You've been promoting. So what are some of the, you know, because I know when I read some of them, I was like, ooh, that sounds interesting. That chapter sounds interesting. And I know I purchased my book, so I'm waiting to get mine. So what are the names? What are the titles of each chapter?
So the first one is Baby Mama. The second one is This Could Be Us. This third one is Birds of a Feather, Sugar Tree, Sam is Dead, Monster, and Pen Pal. That's all of them. Pen
Pal, I want to read that one. Baby Mama was the other one that I had an interest in. And there was another one. Read the second and then before the last one again.
This Could Be Us, Birds of a Feather, Sugar Tree, Sam is Dead, and Monster.
I think it was This Could Be Us.
Okay. Yeah, that's I'm not gonna lie, that's my favorite one.
That's your favorite chapter? Okay. Yeah. So since we're on that, since we're talking about the chapters, and you know, This Is Us is your favorite chapter, and it was one of mine when I just heard the chapter. I was like, oh wow, that you know, sparked you know, interest in me. Give the viewers an insert, you know, read an excerpt of that particular chapter.
Okay. I'm just gonna read one page. I may be a reader, but I was that kid in school that when they told me to read out loud, I was like, ooh, girl, don't make me do that. So I'm gonna try my best. Like I'm not a good like out loud reader, but we don't know.
Okay, well, just pretend that we're not here and that you're just reading out loud.
Okay. This Could Be Us. Like I said, I'm just gonna read the first page of the book, basically. The room from the stereos was blaring and the lights flickered around the room, giving random spotlight to dancing students. The moment most seniors looked forward to had finally arrived, and prom was filled to the max with jumping with feverish teenagers in formal wear. Some of their dresses looked like they belonged more at a club or an episode of Love and Hip Hop, but that was none of my concern at this point. I was here for only one reason. My attire was bummy, just a regular sweatshirt and sneakers. The first few people that caught me sneaking into the dance were now glaring in confusion or disgust, and I stood in the middle of it all, feeling the room pulsate from the music. Within it, I felt so anxious, waiting at any moment for the inevitable. Clara Romero had on a tight green dress and gold jewels. In the corner of the room, Brian stood amongst the food, sporting a velvet suit. He looked great. Sierra
velvet suit?
Heck yeah.
Okay.
Holyfield was grinding in the middle of the dance floor with a gray dress on as her date Ronald milly rocked with his peers. There wasn't a worry in the world, and most of the chaperones were hanging back, enjoying the music and refreshments. Wasn't that the point of being a chaperone at a high school event, after all? Hidden within my jacket was a pistol, nothing big, just a Glock 42 from the back of my mother's closet. With the music blaring, lights flickering, and consistent chatter, it was nothing to remove the gun from my jacket and raise it in the air. Just as I was about to fire, I heard a girl scream, "He has a gun!" Bam. That was the first page.
Oh, okay. So now so what was the title of that? This Could Be Us?
This Could Be Us. So you're like I said, once again, a lot of these books have plot twists. So you're going into it thinking one thing, like obviously you're going into it thinking like, okay, this kid is possibly a school shooter. But by the end of the story, it's going to be something completely different. So
it's something that you're not expecting. Wow. How do you come up with these stories? Like, it's amazing to me. Like, so let me ask you, when you were younger, we used to do something. We had a ritual. Do you remember what that ritual was that I used to take you and your brother to? I want to know, is there a correlation to that?
When we used to go to Barnes and Noble?
Yeah. What was it? Well, tell the viewers, what was that ritual that we used to do?
So we used to go and get like 2 books a month or so. Like one was like for creativity and then one would be like a self-help book basically. And but yeah, no, I mean, that definitely kept me consistently reading. And like I said, like me always reading definitely kept my creativity always flowing. So the fact that that was something that you motivated us to do and kind of like instilled in us definitely made me the writer that I am today, you know?
So it's from reading the books that you read, did that help to develop this style? And what is that style of writing that you do?
I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. A lot of my stories, I've noticed that a lot of my stories, I like to write from first person perspective. And it's not because I even agree with what's going on or what the person's saying, but like, I feel like it's just easier to maybe speak from where I feel like somebody might be coming from. Than just like write about characters that I don't really know much about them. I like to make you feel like you know the character.
Right. So you become intimate with the characters that you create.
And make you almost become intimate with them as well.
So you kind of you adapted that style that you was just mentioning, where from the beginning to the very end, you become like one with the character. And you said that you like, things like that. Wow. So you have developed that style of writing.
Yeah, and a lot of my heroes, especially in this book, are like anti-heroes. So people that that basically are, like I said, good people, but at the same time are making really bad decisions. So, and I feel like everybody can relate to that. We're all good people, but have made bad decisions. So I feel like, writing about characters like that was quite easy for me to do, even if I didn't always agree with the things that they were doing.
So you can actually write about characters doing things that you don't necessarily agree with, but you create a whole, scenario around that.
And even I'm reading it just like, dang, this person's wilding out. Like, why are they doing this? But I'm just like, to me, it's like, I want to make it seem real. I would never make somebody make a decision, even if it's something that I don't agree with, if it's not going to seem real in line with what the characters obviously been doing the whole story. So, and that's the thing too with this book, like I almost wanted to push the limit. A lot of these like stories are like extreme decisions, like, like the most extreme decisions that you could make kind of thing. So it's like, what is this person going to do when that comes down to that? So I don't know.
Wow. Yeah. So we got a couple more comments on here. So my father-in-law just wrote on there twins. So he thinks we're twins. And then Elba wrote, today we celebrate Juneteenth alongside Jasmine Ballew's book launch. And then Melody wrote, what an excellent interview. Oh, thank you, Melody. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm telling you, out of all of the shows, and I have to say this because I feel it right now. Out of all of the shows, and I don't know if the viewers can see that, but out of all of the shows, I have so many emotions going on. Usually when I get on and I do a show, I have a feeling about the topic. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it on my show. But this one, like, I have like the jitters. I feel like it was the day that I launched my book. And I was like nervous. I feel that same, nervous, happy feeling. I don't know if I'm like, my jaws are hurting from smiling so much.
Aw, thank you.
I think it just has a lot to do with how proud I am of you, Jasmine, as a mom. And I'm really gonna try not to cry, but if I do, it's happy tears, because I know the journey that it took for you to get to this point, the pride that it took. And there's a video that I'm gonna post up of you actually getting the book from Amazon and opening up for, all of those who sent the pre-order, who purchased their pre-orders. So I'm really proud of you, Jasmine. When I look at my life was so different at 24, you know, at 24. And it's amazing that we're talking about it, because at 24, I had you. And now you're 24 and you're, you know, you have a different path to life. And, you know, you're doing the things that I'm doing now in my 40s. You're doing now at 24, and I had you at 24. So, you know, mommy, just, I can't stress it enough. How proud I am of you. And people, I always used to call you my mini me, but you really are, you know, like my mini me. And I just can't wait to see like all of the things that you're going to be doing.
Thank you. I have to thank you too for that. Cause like I said, like I wouldn't be the person that I am if it wasn't for you. Like you've always been a very like strong woman and very like independent, very like driven as far as like business wise. Like you don't really settle into anything. If something's like uncomfortable, you're not going to just like sit there and take it. Like you're going to always try to strive to get into a better situation. And I feel like that's something that I've definitely taken on. Like I'm not ever going to just be like content with something when it's like not making me happy. And I think you're the same way. And also just like I said, even you publishing your book, like I didn't even know how to publish a book. I didn't even know that was like a possibility until you did yours. And I was just like, wow, like this is something that I can actually make a reality because you did it. So like, I'm really proud of you too, especially because like you said, when you were my age, you were like, you had, you know, 2 kids and everything. And that's like a lot to do and deal with at that age. I couldn't even imagine having 2 kids, you know what I mean? That's something like you deserve a lot of congratulations to yourself too. You know what I mean?
This is about you today, baby. This is about you.
We're gonna talk about you for a second.
This is about you today, baby. This is all about Jasmine. This is all about your journey. Oh, Daddy wrote something here. You want to read it out loud?
This is definitely awesome.
Yeah. So Daddy's all the way from Cali, joining in, listening in to you on your special day. We have hearts and somebody special. You want to read that one, Jasmine?
Powerful, powerful person and writer.
So who is that?
Yes. Kareem. Thank you.
So Kareem is the special person in her life, which is why she's blushing and all of that. So you do have a lot of supporters, Jasmine. I want to ask you a personal question. Was finally completing this journey, because like you said, you started writing like 5 years ago. You started writing years ago about this particular, you know, these particular stories. The journey, your own personal journeys of just life, and from the time in high school to, you know, now the age of 24, how difficult was it? Or was it difficult for you to finally get to this point? And what does it mean to you to finally say, wow, I finished it. I finished my book. I wrote all of my short stories, and now it's out for the world to be able to enjoy a piece of Jasmine. What does that mean to you?
It means a lot to me because I'm somebody who, in a lot of ways, sometimes I can be a little bit too controlling over my life. So it's like something that I have worked very like step by step towards, like, even if like, even behind the scenes, like people didn't see anything, like I was working towards this like very strategically or whatever. So it feels very pleasing that it's finally like here and I can hold it in my hand and I can like look at it. And I don't know, to a certain extent, I need to learn how to just be like happy with being in the moment. Cause my thing is like, now that I'm done with this, I'm like, all right, now on to the next thing. What's going to be my next thing that I'm going to work on?
Sit in this moment.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I need to, because I'm so like that or whatever, like I'm always trying to move from project to project or like whatever. Like the fact that I did accomplish something that like really is a big step for me. That's something that I have wanted to do for a really long time. Like, I do think that I should take some time to really like appreciate it. But the journey has been pretty hard. I mean, there was a lot of times when I lost motivation to write and stuff like that. There was a lot of times where like I had writer's block. There was a lot of times where I lost files. And I don't know, for me, sometimes even as a Black woman, it's kind of demotivating when you see the statistics of Black women that actually are directors, women who are screenwriters, who are actually getting producers to sign their deals and stuff like that, how often they actually even have control over their stuff. When you're actually looking at the stories and the statistics, it can be kind of, you know, overwhelming. But it's not, I am somebody, once again, that's like, I'm always going to keep trying to push to go. And there are a lot of other stories where there have been people who have been able to make it happen, who are people of color, who are women and stuff like that. So I feel like from those small stories of motivation, like I'm going to keep going, but it is hard. And even the book in and of itself, when I was trying to publish the book, I mean, I had to go back and redo the template for the cover 101 times. Like I was crying for like a whole week because I couldn't figure out like,
I remember.
yeah. And I had to, the editor, I mean, the guy who did the author or illustrator who did the cover.
You mean the graphic designer who did the book cover?
Thank goodness he was a great person and he was able to go back and do the template like 5-10 times for me. But I mean, if he was not a good guy, it was going to be such a hard process. Right. So even in of itself, like doing it physically, besides even emotionally and all that kind of stuff, it was a struggle.
Do you think the next are you thinking about writing another book after going through everything that you've gone through, and obviously now knowing the steps and going through it together, you and I, and now knowing that even the changes that Amazon made, to, you know, that whole process and everything like that. Now that you know that process, and it obviously going to be easier the next time. Are you thinking about writing another book?
I am. My first step is right now I'm like saving a lot of money, especially now with the new internship that I'm in. Like I'm working really more closely with like cameras and actually like putting on screen what I'm seeing in my head. So my next endeavor is actually trying to just invest into a camera so that I can start trying to like practice doing short films and stuff like that. But doing another book is definitely something that's on my mind, and I've already thought of, you know, concepts for and stuff. And actually, I don't even have a choice because it actually ends off on a to be continued. So,
so everybody's gonna be looking for that sequel, right?
Yeah, that's another thing. So it ends off.
Wow.
So I kind of have to do a sequel anyway. But yeah.
So you're definitely gonna be writing
anyway too. But
right. So you're definitely gonna be writing another book. We got another comment on here. It says, oh, this one's to me. Oh, Asia, you are a good mom. You did a great job with her. You know what? I have to say, I think, you know, with God's help, definitely, you know what I mean? I'm definitely proud of, you know, the accomplishments that you've been able to push through, even with challenges, you continue to push through. And, you know, I'm definitely, I'm just like, I'm not a person who loses words. Like people know me to be a talker. Like everybody knows I never stop talking. And this is like the first time that I'm actually doing an interview, and I'm almost like at a loss for words, not because I don't know what to say. It's just I'm overwhelmed and feeling very emotional. Like I'm looking at you and I'm just like, this is my baby at 24, and to see what you're accomplishing with your life is just, you know, I just feel a little overwhelmed. So, you know, if I'm stumbling over my words, viewers, please excuse me for today. So you were mentioning that, you know, you projects and things like that, you're doing an internship. You know, tell the viewers, what are some of the projects that you're doing right now?
So I'm working on a couple of screenplays. I already finished my first screenplay. So I although I finished my first screenplay, I don't think that's going to be my first movie. And I hope you understand what I'm saying by that. Like, you're right. Like, it's a good screenplay, but like budget wise, that's probably not going to happen as the first film. So I'm actually working on my second screenplay, which is more like a budget friendly first film that I really do love, that I'm putting a lot of time into right now. So that's kind of what I'm working on besides the short films. I do have 2 other separate short film ideas that I want to get the camera to actually start working on. The other screenplays I mentioned earlier, those are more like big budget screenplays. Like I would have to go and get a producer, an agent, something like that. The ones that I'm trying to do as far as the short films, they're more like I can do them myself type of thing. So I have 2 concepts for short films already, and hopefully that'll bring some kind of maybe agent, some kind of attention, so that when I do want to make my big motion picture films, I will have somewhat of like a background that they can look at and see, like, you know, my taste and stuff. Besides that, I'm also working on my second book. I actually have 2 books that I'm working on. I know I have a lot. Yeah.
So you're trying to catch up with mommy, because I'm working on that right now. So you're trying to catch up with me already. Okay.
So first off, I have to work on the sequel to Limbo. And that's going to be probably another compilation of short stories, all like that are like plot twists at the end too. And then I also have another book that I'm working on that I've told you before too, called Playlist of Lovers. And it's basically almost like an autobiography, but each chapter is going to be named after a song. And the song is going to be relating to a man, either romantic or non-romantic in my life that had some type of influence on my life. Because I do feel like my relationships with people have had a huge influence on the person that I am. And it's almost going to be like a coming of age story, but like how I became the person that I am now today or whatever. But it's going to be like each chapter is going to be named after a song that reminds me of that experience.
Wow, we did talk about that, and we talked about the concept of the cover. Oh, I can't wait for that one to come out. Like I'm totally like,
I started that one. That's the one that I wanted to do first, but it's long. It's gonna be a long, intricate thing because it's like I have to tell the stories and you have to understand the backgrounds to some of the stories. So I was working on that one, and I have the first chapter and part of the second chapter done. But when I was sitting down, I was like, okay, this is going to be a long time. Let me put out these short stories first and then work on this one.
Wow. So yeah. I'm so excited about that. So what's one of the other chapters that is one of your favorites that you would like to read a little excerpt for everyone to just kind of hear?
I kind of want you guys to pick. We should let somebody from the audience pick and comment.
Okay. All right, so somebody from the audience, we got viewers on here, so kind of name some of the.
We have Baby Mama, This Could Be Us, Birds of a Feather, Sugar Tree, Sam is Dead, Monster, or Pen Pal.
Or Pen Pal. Okay, so we read the one from This Could Be Us. So we got Baby Mama, Pen Pal, Sugar something. Sugar Tree, Monster. Come on, guys. Give me something to work with here.
Silence. Everyone's like,
okay, so somebody said Sugar Tree.
Okay. I guess we'll get to that one. That one's a spicy story.
Oh, and okay, so we get two people. So Auntie Rachel says Sugar Tree too. So we got two Sugar Trees.
Okay.
We got Monster. Okay. Oh my God. We got Baby Mama, Pen Pal. Oh yeah. We opened up Pandora's box here. Okay. So read Sugar Tree because we got two on Sugar Tree.
Okay. Sugar Tree. Red lights illuminated the room, turning it a dark crimson. Come closer, he whispered. His breath stank of marijuana, and small beads of sweat crowned his forehead. The way the melanin in his skin reflected the red of the lights was the most sensual concoction she had ever laid eyes on. Viola felt her stomach stink, not in a bad way, but in a way. I don't know. I still have things to consider, she responded, staying still. What's your things to consider? I don't know you well enough. There's a lot to consider. She took a seat at the edge of his bed, still half dressed. The t-shirt Viola wore to the concert was discarded across the room in a pile of empty soda cans. And her pants were MIA, so it was still a mystery what she was going to wear home in the taxi. I could probably help you with some of these considerations if you verbalized them. His voice was deep, and he was simple with his words, never really dragging them out like some other men. He stared often, observing, considering Viola's actions before he made his own. The way he danced around Viola's questions and slithered through her speculations only alerted the girl more. Do you do this often? She asked. Invite girls backstage. Bam, that was the first page.
Okay. Well, we got a surprise for you, Jasmine. I didn't tell you, but I reached out to a couple of people and we got them here that's going to be joining us now. And they have a few things that they want to say to you on your special day. So we are welcoming your cousin Jorito, or we call him Jorito. His name is Jorge, you know. Hey, George, how are you, Jorito?
What's up? Okay.
So for the viewers, this is her second cousin. This is my first cousin who I grew up with. Talk about that crazy cousin that you grew up with. That's unforgettable. That's George. And this is and then we also have my sister-in-law who's on here to, say something. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start with Jorito. So Jorito, what do you want to say to Jasmine?
I just wanted to congratulate Mom and just keep up the good work.
Thank
you. Just continue kicking butt, man.
That's all. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you, George. So George is calling from the Bronx. Oh, no, Brooklyn. So he's calling from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Thank you. Huh?
I got Giovanni on the line. So let me. Let me see if he could tap in. Hold on. I got Giovanni on the line. I'll call you right back.
All right.
Okay. And so now we have my sister-in-law who has seen Jasmine grow up too. So Rosa, welcome, Rosa.
Hey. Oh wait, we can't hear her.
We can't hear you, mommy. We can't hear you, Rosa. Are you on mute?
Yeah, about saying my
okay.
thing.
So congratulations. I'm sorry about that. Congratulations. Keep going up. That's all I have to say. Just keep moving up. Nothing but good things for you. Okay.
Thank you.
We're very proud of you, and I am buying your book because I am going to read it.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's right. Thank you so much, Rosa. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
No
Thank
problem.
you. See you soon.
So when we talk about it takes a village, you know, this is what it's about. Are you crying, Jasmine?
Oh, no. I was
okay. So this is what it means to, you know, it takes a village. Hold on one second. I'm going to mute because one of the guests, you can hear him.
Hold on.
Okay. So clearly that's Jorito. Raising havoc already. So, Rosa, did you want to stay on or do you want me to remove you?
No, I'm going to stay on because I was waiting for your brother. I just went downstairs to get something. So I'm going to go back upstairs because I told him I send it to myself so that way he can be on. Okay. I'm just going to shut my camera off for a minute because I'm buying something.
Okay, great.
Okay.
So, you know that saying that it takes a village, you know, everybody, Jasmine, I just want you to know, mommy's not the only one that's proud of you. You know, there's all of us have watched you in your journey and has seen you grow up. And this is a big moment for the family, you know, so, and it's a big moment for all of the, you know, all of your supporters on here. Like, you know, Auntie Rachel is on here from Cali. She's supporting. So you just read Sugar Tree. You got a lot of my friends on here, you know, the special person in your life. Kareem is on here. Daddy is on here. So you have, you know, my father-in-law is like, you know, on here with you. So you have so many people here supporting you. And we're also very proud of you. So we have a couple of other requests. We have Birds of a Feather. We have Baby Mama. And we have Pen Pal. And Daddy said Monster. So you may not have to read the whole thing, but just read like a paragraph from each of those, okay? So we have you read Sugar Tree. So let's do Birds of a Feather. That's the next one.
All right, I'll read like the first. I don't even know. Hold on.
Jasmine, do you see somebody?
Hey,
baby.
Hi.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Dad.
I'm going to get my book. So just so you know, I'm going to order a few copies.
All right, thank you.
I love you. I love you.
I love you too.
Continue with your great journey.
Thank you.
You proud, Dad?
Oh, very.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis, for coming on.
I'll see you soon, baby.
I'll see you soon.
So go ahead. So go ahead and read Birds of a Feather.
Okay. I guess I'm gonna read the first couple of like sentences.
Okay.
All right. I keep catching you looking, Itifu whispers with a smirk. Boy, I'm not even looking at you, Scarlet spits, rolling her eyes. It's okay if you are. The moon beams a path of light for the two of them to slither through the fences and climb the fire escape. Itifu grabs a backpack from Scarlet and swings it over his own back as they climb to the top. A pigeon coop flooding with birds, as well as a dingy peach-colored couch, are the only two things up there. As soon as the lanky boy gets to the roof, he helps Scarlet up as well. I swear I miss this view, Scarlet whispers when she sees the skyline and the moon. I guess I'll read like a couple more sentences. The stars painted the sky resembled the rhinestones girls wear in their ears when they can't afford diamonds. Atifu tries to pay attention to the night sky, but periodically glances at Scarlet, admiring how the lights dance in her toffee pupils.
So what is that about? So what is Birds of a Feather about? What is that particular chapter about?
So that one, basically, you hear that quote, birds of a feather flock together. I even put like a little thing with like birds being on the roof. Basically it's about two friends or whatever, and she's coming back to visit in town, and she's seeing one of her friends or whatever. But like when you first kind of start reading the book, they kind of seem like they're just regular friends, but like the more you read it, you see it's like a little messy. And by the ending of the book, like they both have to make a decision, and they're both like caught in two very different decisions, but they both have to make a decision, and both of them
they're in limbo.
Yes, and both of them make different decisions, and it's just showing if that quote "birds of a feather flock together" is actually true, because you know in this book it's showing that they're supposedly friends, but they're both making very different decisions by the ending of the book.
Wow, was there anything that inspired that?
Yeah, no, that was inspired by actually like a couple of my relationships with people. Some of like my male friendships, but then some of them by like guys who were interested in me. So I kind of like had a little bit of both when I was making the male character in this book, basically.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So we have from Daddy and Kareem, we have Monster. So what is Monster about? You don't necessarily have to read it, but just what is Monster about?
So Monster is actually a story about domestic violence, and it's showing how partners can change from one way to another, basically representing they can be completely normal 1 second and then become a monster basically the second. So that's basically what that story is about.
So in each of these chapters, it's like a twist at the end. And so we have another one. Now, this is one of my favorite ones. So I totally get it. I like Baby Mama. I definitely want to know what's that about.
That one, girl, I'm not gonna lie. That one is that's the first story for a reason, because that one it's gonna set the tone for the books or whatever. The books are very mixed. There's like some books that are very
chapters.
The chapters. Some of the chapters are very like, you know, although there's a plot twist, it's quite mild to read or whatever. And then some of them are just like kind of like crazy stories or whatever. That one happens to be like a crazy story. Like that was probably one of the craziest stories. So that one is basically about a guy, and I don't even know if I really want to say this one because like there's so many.
Don't tell. Let us. Okay, so for all of you who want the book, who want to know what Baby Mama's about, you got to get the book.
Okay. I will say this though, it is basically about a guy and he's dealing with his baby mama, and that's all I'm gonna say. And that's it, honey. It's a hot mess.
Wow. Okay, so I already got I'm getting my book. So let those, for some of us who have already pre-ordered your book, what's happening with that? Because we know COVID and the whole thing. So what do you have the books?
I do. I actually got them this morning. Like I got a whole pack of the pre-orders, and I actually have some extras. So if there's anybody like locally that wants to get a copy, they can, get the copy from me basically. But yeah, if you guys want to order it, it's basically on Amazon right now. So, and as far as
Amazon, so if anyone wants to get a signed copy, where can they go on PayPal to actually pay for the book? And how much is it for them to pay, which including shipping, to get a signed copy? Because everybody can go on Amazon now. And for all of the viewers, I'm going to be posting up the link as soon as this is over. I'm going to post up the link for everybody. And if you're following me on Instagram, Instagram has it in my link. I have the Amazon link already posted up for you to purchase the book directly from Amazon. But if you're looking for a signed copy from author Jasmine Ballew and you want to get one, where can they go on PayPal? How would they find you to be able to pay, and how much?
So on PayPal, I'm actually gonna, like I said, leave the link. I believe it's, let me get my exact name, but I don't really want you guys to like just take it up word of mouth. I'm gonna give you guys like an actual link, but I do have a link inside of my bio to go to the Amazon page, but I'll also add a link for if you want a signed copy in there. But my name on PayPal is Jasmine Ballew, and it's at JB Blogs. So
spell that for them. JB Blogs.
So JB and then the Blogs, BLOGS. That's
okay.
It.
So we have a few here. So we have a few here that said that we have Anissa says she wants a signed copy. So Anissa, if you go on Jasmine's page on Instagram, which she just indicated, which was JB Blogs.
Yeah.
You can go on there. She actually has where you can get a signed copy.
I'm gonna add the link now because I took the link off at first. So I'm gonna add a link in so people can still go to my PayPal if they want the signed copy because I took it out.
How many extras do you have? So that way people know there's a limited. So if you really want a signed copy, you got to get on it. So she doesn't have like a, so how many books do you have?
I have 15 extra ones.
So 15 extras. So if you want to get an extra one, or if you haven't pre-ordered it already, this is your opportunity to still get a signed copy from Jasmine. Go on her Instagram page at JB Blogs, and she's going to put the link as soon as our virtual book signing is over for you to be able to choose. If you want Amazon to just send it to you directly, she has the link up there. On my page, Jessica Cares 1. I have the link also, and I'm going to post it up here on my Facebook page. For anyone who wants to order it directly from Amazon. So there's 15 copies. Anissa already put her name on one of them. So we really only got like 14 copies now.
Right.
So if anybody wants it, please reach out to Jasmine on her Instagram page. She has 14 copies left, ready for someone to have it actually signed by her. Right. Jasmine, I want to ask you just one more question. When you actually, because I know the feeling that I had when it happened to me. When you got the box from Amazon, and I saw the video, you were opening it up, and you actually opened it up, and you saw like all your work finally together, complete in a book format. What was going through your mind, baby?
If you want to be honest, I was rushing because I was trying to get on this call, but now that I'm able actually to like just like sit and look at it, it feels amazing, I owned books before, and the fact that now I own a book and it's like my words and stuff like that, that's insane.
You're an official author, so wow. All right, so Jasmine, you got a couple of more family members here before we, finish. Elias is her cousin. So Elias, you want to say something? Or Elias having his own conversation?
Right. Hey, Elias.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Shy self. I said, here, say congratulations to Jasmine. He's like, congratulations.
Thank you. Right.
Wow, this is great. So I know Jorito tried to get back on. I know he's trying to get Giovanni on, but Giovanni has a special place in your heart. He's a writer too. We have writers in our family, clearly. Yeah. And we very creative family. Your father's an artist, your brother's an artist, both your brothers are artists. One is the artist in music and one is the artist in drawing like your father.
Right.
So very creative family, very artistic family. And out of the children, this was the first. You were the first to actually, kind of put your work out to the world for everybody to see. And the family is just, super proud of you. And Giovanni was, my cousin, my first cousin, your second cousin, Giovanni. He's a writer, has written with, writers in movies like, or shows like The Sopranos and things like that. You have a cousin, Bernie, in Florida, who's an actor, who's actually now, acting and doing his thing. And we have a special guest here for you that wants to say something, baby.
Hey.
Woo! Let's go.
I'm done.
Yeah. I know this has been like your baby for a while, and there's been like a lot of trials and tribulations, but I'm just happy that you got to like finally like put your dream out there and actually like realize it. So I just want to say congratulations, and yeah.
Thank you.
So for anybody who wants to know, that's God willing, that's going to be my son-in-law. That's saying his special piece for Jasmine, and he's been there. He really has. He's been there, and I want to thank you, Kareem, for the moments of anxiety and the stress levels of writing this book that has happened. I'm not there, and you've been that voice of calm for her sometimes when it's it's stressful. And I'm as a writer myself, I know how it can be at times. So I want to thank you for being there for her throughout this journey as well.
Yeah, no worries. It's a part of it. No worries.
All
right.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye, babe.
So Jasmine, so you said that you were kind of like in a rush when you were opening up the box and everything. But what now that you're reflective of it and you know that now your book is out and you know, how does that make you feel?
Like I said, I feel really proud. I feel like it's something that I always wanted to like kind of leave something behind that like, you know, I don't like talking about like death or anything like that, but like obviously that happens to everybody, and obviously I don't want that to happen for a very long time, but the fact that I was able to make something that like is going to be around even after me, like that's something that I always wanted to do. And that like in making my films is something that I want to do. Like I want my voice to still go on even when I'm gone. Like the messages that I want to say, the characters that I make up, you know what I mean? Like the piece of me, yeah, it's still going to be in other people, because when they read these stories, like they're going to remember these characters. And when they watch these movies, they're going to remember these people. Like, and for me, like I said, like film has been such an influence on my life. The fact that I was able to like put something out that hopefully might have some effect on somebody else, like is just like, you know, really powerful for me. But yeah, I just feel like happy because like I said, it's like a bit of me in the universe now, no matter what, you know.
That's great. And on Juneteenth, we're talking about legacy, and here you launched it on Juneteenth, leaving your legacy. You know, with the work, your literary work, your film work that's coming, God willing. You know, it's definitely going to leave a piece of you and who you are and the stories that you want to tell in your voice. So I'm extremely excited for you. So do you have any projects? You have any projects that you want, you know, that you have upcoming that you're thinking about doing as it relates to the book?
Not yet. I have to still kind of, I've been so caught up in like the book launch and trying to get it out, but I'm definitely going to try to think of some things to promote the book, or like some kind of interactive things that I can do with people who might have read the book. Some, you know, maybe book clubs and stuff like that. But, yeah, I'm going to have to think about it a little bit and then, you know, start making some posts about it and see what people say. You know.
Well, viewers, if you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments. That would definitely help her to, you know, kind of give you what it is that you're looking for. Her being a director, that's going to be, you know, important. And Daddy said to Kareem, so Kareem, if you're still watching, he says he wants to thank you for being there as well.
I also was thinking too about maybe like making one of the short stories into like a short film too. So maybe I'll do like one of the favorites from like the book, whichever one somebody likes the most. Maybe I'll try to make it into a short film or something.
All right. So you got some ideas that you're thinking about. So again, viewers, if you have some ideas of what you would like her to do with the book, please, you know, let her know, you know, drop a line, go in her DMs on Instagram and visit her and let her know what it is that you're looking for. Your aunt, Rosa, I think she's trying to get your Theo Gilbert on here. I don't know if she's able to, but Rosa, we're getting ready to close up and wrap up. So
okay, actually he's coming upstairs. He's getting something from the car, but he's coming up. Okay. So let me see where he is. I'll go to him so he can say congratulations, because he really did want to be here, but he got stuck doing something. So I said I would join.
Okay. So George, we're getting ready to wrap up. And then your family, you can see your family's just like, we want to be here, we want to support you. You know, we're doing this whole virtual thing. So, you know, George, do you have Giovanni on that he wants to say something?
I could try to get a hold of him, but I can't get a hold of him, man. I've been trying to get a hold of him since this morning.
Can't see you, George.
He text you?
No, I said we can't see you. I can't see you. You gotta like take the camera, the line off the camera.
The camera's not working. I don't know what's up.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? It's okay. We know your Giovanni will probably reach out to Jasmine later now that he knows. So it's all good.
Can you hear me now?
You know?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. And everybody else can hear you too, George.
Yeah, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Keep on writing books, man. Keep on making us look good.
Yeah. So now y'all can see who I grew up with.
So what the name of the book is what? Limbo?
Yeah.
All right, that's a nice tone. That's a nice tone. I gotta read it.
Thank
you. So Jasmine has 15 extra. She has 14 extra copies. Somebody already put their dibs on one of them. So George, if you want a copy, reach out to me. I'll send you the link and everything, so that way you can have it and you can send it to.
Hey, Jasmine,
you can, get the copy. Wait. Oh, so we have Theo Gilbert on the line. Gilbert.
Yeah, baby.
Hi, how you doing? Thank you. Love you.
Yeah, we can hear you. Just speak up a little bit more.
Can you hear me? I don't think you can hear us.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Gil. Thanks, Rosa.
Thank you.
So as you can see, everybody's joined to congratulate you, Jasmine. Gil, you want to say something else before we sign off? Because we're live.
Congratulations. Hope everything works well.
Thank you.
Right,
can you hear me?
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, when will I be seeing the best selling book out there, man? You know,
everybody go out and get that copy, have that book, spread the word, share it. That's how it becomes a bestseller. The more people that know it, and leave comments on her Amazon. You know the reviews? Those are the reviews. So just so you know, anyone who's looking to purchase a copy, whether it's a pre-order or whether you order it directly on Amazon, Jasmine is going to have both links until she sells out of the pre-orders that she has and the 15 extra copies that she has. She's going to have both links on there. Whichever one, once you read the book, go on Amazon and place a review on there, because that's what's going to, anytime they pull up a book on suspense or short stories, her book is going to come up because of the positive reviews that each and every one of you are going to leave for her. So that's extremely important. That's a marketing strategy. Please support Jasmine on her very first book. Put those comments in, on Amazon, so that way when the book comes up, her book is the one that comes up first because of the positive reviews, and that's how she gets a bestseller. So we want a bestseller in the house.
There you go. There you go.
Thank you.
Read it.
Thank you.
So George, you missed out on the thing. She's read and she's done all that, and so we're getting ready to sign off now. But please, I'm going to give you her number. You can call your cousin directly. Gil, thank you so much for coming on and wishing your niece, congratulations. We really appreciate it.
No problem, man.
Love you.
And to all the viewers, your dad, Kareem, all of the viewers, some of you who have already pre-ordered, we just, from the bottom of our heart, from our family, we want to thank you so much for supporting Jasmine. And Jasmine, I'm going to leave it to you to close out this virtual book signing, to thank everyone.
Wait.
Any final thoughts that you have for anyone?
So Jessica.
Yeah.
You her manager now?
This is my show. Yes, I'm managing this show. And we're getting ready to close. So, Jasmine, go ahead and leave it, say your final comments.
All right.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, everybody, for joining. I really appreciate it. Thank you to anybody who's done a pre-order, anybody who's going to order. A lot of these stories are written from the heart. I do also want to just say, a lot of these stories are I'm going to warn you guys, they are kind of crazy, but they don't reflect on some of my views and stuff like that. So I do hope that you guys enjoy the stories. They are just for entertainment, not, my personal views. And that was just something that I wanted to get across too, because when I was writing the book, I was really worried, even when I was putting it out, oh my God, what if people think I'm crazy? Or what if they read this story and they think I'm like this character? And you know what I mean? And I want to just put across that these are just works of fiction. They are just books. I don't think any of the way that a lot of these characters think, and
or speak the language that some of these people speak.
No. So I just kind of want to get that across. This is just a work of art for me. And I hope that you guys are enjoying it and you guys are just taking it as the entertainment that it is. And I really appreciate anybody joining in today. And that's pretty much it. Thank you.
That was good,
and
Mommy.
Auntie Rachel, all the way from California, said, congratulations. Again, congratulations. Very proud of you and being a positive inspiration to all ages. So you can see, once again, as we close out, I want to thank everyone for coming out. This is I think the highlight of Conversations with Asia on this show for this year, and probably will be for the rest of the year. We have some great topics and great guests, but obviously this one is also near and dear to my heart because this is my baby girl, and I'm just so proud of her. And this accomplishment, this is not something that everybody can put. on their resume to say that they're an author. So at 24, you hear my cousin. So
preach, baby, preach. It's hitting the soul, baby. It's hitting the soul, boy.
So I just want to thank everybody for coming on and joining and celebrating with us for Juneteenth, celebrating with Jasmine at 24 years old, adding this onto her portfolio and resume that she is now literally a self-published author where you can get her book on Amazon. Go out and support my baby girl. Let it be known. And it takes a village. It's not just a cliche. It takes a village, from biological family to family, to friends that become family, and to all the viewers who have seen my baby grow up. Go out and support her work. This is the positivity that we need to see in our communities. And this is what we need to see more often of. And if we support this, it will help the other women, young girls that want to have a voice, who feel that they don't have one. They can see that, put it out there, and it'll make its way to the right people, and we will definitely support our young ladies who want to put their voice out into the world. So thank you so much, baby.
It's called empowerment. It's called empowerment. Woo!
Yes, it is. It's called empowerment. So thank you, Jasmine, for being the best that is in me, and an extension of me, and making me so very proud. And I know your dad is watching, and he has said it several times. He wants to say how proud he is of you as well. So he says he can't wait to get his copy, and he loves you so much. He says, I love you so much, baby. I'm so proud of the woman that you have become.
Thank you.
So we're going to close on that end. Can't say anything more. Go out and support my baby. And thank you, Jasmine, for just being the best version of yourself. Go ahead and put that out there for everybody. Limbo. Limbo is the copy, is the name of the book.
And
go on her Instagram page at JB Blogs, and you can order it either on Amazon directly, or she can send you one of the extra copies that she has so she can sign it. Thank you all for another great episode of Conversations with Asia. If you miss any of it, you can go on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, so that way you can be notified of all of our future topics and discussions that we're going to have. And you can go back and see all of our past great conversations that we've had, one of them which we had Jasmine at one of our second shows. So you can see her journey from then up until now as well. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Get a glimpse of this entire episode. Once again, watch it over and over again. Share it, spread the word, tag a friend, and support my baby. Thank you for another great episode. And baby, I'll be talking to you soon. Yeah. Bye, everybody.
Love you.
Bye-bye.
Guys.